Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. John Kelly for Options University on Wednesday, November 16th, 2011. The disclaimer, trading always has been, always will be risky. Learn what you can at Options University to give yourself that competitive edge, and that competitive edge right now is being tested. When I last left you Sunday evening, all was peaceful in Europe, all was quiet, hand in hand, kumbaya into the sunset. Went to bed, slept peacefully, and woke up to a market that was down a couple 100 points. Let's build this thing and see what has happened. First, here is the Economic Union President Mario Draghi. This is one of the players, this is one of the faces. Former head of Goldman Sachs European division. He was credited with hiding billions in Greek debt so Greece could gain entrance into the European Union. He's a former Italian politician and current head of the European Union. There's one player for you. Here is the interim Greek Prime Minister, Lucas Papademos. Okay, he helped hide the Greek debt along with Mr. Draghi, and as I said, he is the interim Prime Minister. Now, the next character in this act, or in this gang, Mario Monti. He is the current interim Prime Minister of Italy, like Papademos, until there are elections in the spring. He announced that the Italians are going to have and be ready for tremendous sacrifices to make the austerity program work. He's also a former member of the Italian Communist Party. Finally, the announcement that really got things going by this gentleman Sunday night to Monday morning, Antonis Samaras. He is in line to become the next Greek Prime Minister. He announced that he will not sign the loan documents of the European Union Troika for the bailout funds. He claims that austerity will not work for Greece and Italy. Only growth incentives will work. I couldn't agree more handily with this guy. If you know anything about what's been going on in Italy and Greece and the whole entitlement mentality that is currently tearing our country apart as well with the Occupy Wall Street fiasco that's going on, people who now have an expectation, they've been built up over generations now, expectation that we owe them a living. We owe them everything. The Italians, the Greeks, the Spaniards, they all have the expectation that they deserve a job that they cannot be fired from. They deserve vacations. They deserve an early retirement at full pay. And it worked for a while, but now it has come to an end. And the austerity programs, which do not give any incentive to business to hire new employees, to grow, to expand, will fail miserably. The Greeks and the Italians have become very good, very wise at avoiding paying taxes. And the harder they try and collect from, the government tries to collect from them, the more they will resist and evade. It is not a happy scenario. Italian bonds are over 6%. The one that was floated Monday was successful, but it was done at a 6.3% return yield, highest in the history of the European Union. Italy has 200 billion more euros of refinancing to accomplish by April. The current Economic Financial Security Fund that the Union stretched from 200 billion euros to 1 trillion euros is 4 trillion euros short of being a backstop for all the debt that Italy has, Spain has, Greece has, and the other pig nations have. And today at 3 o'clock, when the market was sailing along and almost recovered from being down this morning, Fitch, one of the rating agencies, came out and threatened a downgrade of Italy, Spain, France, along with all U.S. banks that are holding European debt. And guess what? All the banks are holding European debt. The European production numbers were out this week, down 2%. The Bank of England warned that we're on the point of a severe contraction in economic activity in Europe. Put plainly, double-dip recession. Here's the sovereign debt as a percentage of GDP. You'll notice that Japan, of course, sits on top, but Greece, Italy, Ireland, Belgium, France, Portugal are all right there along with the United Kingdom. And of course the U.S. As I said, current policies are driving us there. The Super Committee is due out with their recommendations next week, if any, and there'll be more smoke and mirrors. Fitch, the S&P, and Moody's will not be fooled. They'll go ahead and downgrade everybody. The E-mini S&P reaction. As I said today, we were pretty much flat, and in the blink of an eye, from 3 to 4 o'clock, boom, down we went. Now, this is that channel that we stayed in for the longest time at about 1225 on top. We closed at 1231 today in the E-mini S&P 500, and the bottom of that channel at 1068. That's where we may be headed here. The VIX, which has been trying to get underneath the bottom of this channel from 48 to somewhere in the 30s and has succeeded a couple of times, launched right back up today with a fear volatility tail underneath this candlestick pattern. So that's Europe. That's the mess, the contagion that will spread to the U.S. In the U.S., the economic news this week has been fairly good. PPI and CPI are under control. Inflation, everything's doing as expected. Retail came in better than expected. It looks like it's going to be a ho-ho-ho holiday season. On Thursday, tomorrow, we get the Philly Fed, and we get leading indicators on Friday. Earnings news. Abercrombie, Fitch, Urban Outfitters, Walmart all missed this week. Target and Dick's Sporting Goods were on a beat. Lowe's and Home Depot were mixed but ended up down, and Allegiant and Autodesk also had a beat. So which stocks do you trade, and which way do you go with this crazy market? We're going to take a look at that in the gold member section next.